Good evening. The Hanover Area School District Board of Education special meeting Wednesday, October 12th, 2022 will now come to order. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Ms. Blake?
Present.
Mr. Holmgren? Present. Dr. Kopko?
Here.
Mr. Maley?
Here.
Mr. Mazur? Absent. Mr. Warwick? Here. Ms. Potsko?
Here.
Mr. Reddick? Here. Mr. Stevens here. Quorum established.
Okay. Executive session report pursuant to the Pennsylvania Sunshine Act. The board president wishes to announce that at a special meeting on Wednesday, October 12th, 2022, the Board of Education of the Hanover Area School District held an executive session to discuss matters of employees' relations, labor negotiations, threatened or actual litigation, and went into a closed or executive session at 5 p.m. and began the public meeting at 6:12 p.m. The subjects discussed in executive session related solely to matters of employee relations, labor negotiations, threatened or actual litigations. At this time, is there anyone in the public that would like to address the board on agenda items only?
3 minutes, Mr. McKim.
Yep.
Mike Potsko, Hanover Township. I'd like to raise a legal objection to the fact that you are not following your 903 policy and providing the exhibits to the press and public at the meeting. I'd like you to either remedy that by just simply going and printing them off, or denying that this constitutes a violation and continue with the meeting.
Your policy clearly states.
I thought we saw
have
this
it.
last time.
Yeah, you're supposed to fix it.
Mr. Potsko, we posted the financial exhibits online, sir.
The 903 policy requires it at the meeting.
For the
So you're denying that you're violating the policy?
Point of order, someone read the policy. A board member, please read the policy out loud. Point of order.
Mr. Pot, one person has the floor at a time, sir.
Yeah, and a board member
Okay,
should read
you're
the
either gonna be
policy.
quiet or you're gonna go. So, when it's your turn, you get to speak. Go ahead, sir.
So point of order, can somebody read the policy 903 that states that the exhibits need to be posted at the meeting for the press and public?
It doesn't say that.
Listen closely, please.
Sir, I'm not gonna warn you again.
The last line of 903, policy 903 states that it needs to happen. Can somebody please pull that up?
Yeah, I have it. What it says, actually, for members of the public, is it doesn't say the exhibits. It says, the meeting agenda and all pertinent documents shall be available to the press and the public at the meeting.
Yes.
So, I'm not finished. I'm not finished. Though the documents that you're requesting are not encompassed in that, and I'd also refer you to the district's policy, which is 006, which talks about the agendas, and it specifically says, among other things, the published agenda shall include a listing of each matter of agency business that will be or may be the subject of deliberation or official action at the meeting. That has been done. Agenda attachments and other background materials associated with the agendas are not required to be published along with the agenda. That is consistent with the law. We've heard your comments and we thank you for them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
The second objection I have is, can I ask which board members were involved in making the changes to the policies that are on tonight's agenda?
What was the question?
Well, I'll reference policy 236.1 threat assessment. So the Pennsylvania School Board Association, I'm assuming provided the options here, and in various places, X's were placed next to the ones that you chose to include in the policy. Which board members or committee members were involved in deciding which options were chosen for each of these policies, and what changes, and which changes were to be made to the policies.
That's a duty of the superintendent of schools. They are voting on that, on my recommendations this evening.
So, in other districts, there's committees comprised of board members that review the public school policies, because that's their duty. The administration doesn't, the school board doesn't have to accept the Pennsylvania School Board Association recommendations or your recommendations. They can, obviously.
It is.
But it's the role of the school board to make these decisions, and it should be, the deliberations per the Sunshine Act should be done.
Mr. Possible, you're at 3 minutes. Could you wrap up the last comment?
That's it. When,
I made those recommendations. They're gonna vote on it this evening. I thank you.
so,
Can I yield my time?
can I have her 3 minutes?
Sure.
Thank you.
So.
I don't know what you're getting at, Mr. Plasko. I wish I could help you,
So-
but I don't
so-
understand what you're trying to say.
so
I'll be
the-
honest with you, I don't understand where you're going with this.
So let me,
Please.
yeah, so when public policy is changed, the public should be included in the deliberation process. These recommendations should be done with the school board members and the public. We should have input as they're being
That's
deliberated.
what the work session was for this evening. No one showed.
Wait a
no one
second.
showed up.
I'm allowed to be at the work session.
No, you're not.
It's open to the public.
But you said that you didn't, that the only things discussed were litigation and personnel. That's what you
During
opened up
executive
with.
session.
That's executive session.
Executive session, okay, so the working session, this is not a working session, so
We went over the entire agenda during the work session. That's what we do. Just,
What?
if you wanna come next month, we go over the entire, line by line.
Okay, so that's on me, I assumed this was the working session.
Right, the public can't get involved.
Mr.
Listen to
Plasko,
me.
that's.
He's
open to the
talking,
public.
and you be quiet.
I'm
All right,
helping.
so
But I'm gonna have you removed. Do you understand me? I'm done with you. If you talk out of turn again, you're out of here. That's your last warning. Your last warning.
What time?
You're not gonna disrupt this meeting anymore.
Soon we're gonna speak on the Constitution.
I'm sorry, Mr. Fox. I
5:15,
apologize to you,
sir.
sir. Go ahead, please. I apologize.
5:15 it began.
Okay, when is the executive session?
5 o'clock to 5:15.
Okay, so 5:15, and so the working session is open to the public.
Yes, sir.
From now on,
It has been.
It always has.
Always has been.
the public board meeting it's my own negligence. I didn't realize that was.
More than
Yeah,
welcome.
but your wording, Mr. Plasko, was from now on, it's always been open.
No. I assumed the executive session was the same as the working session.
It's not.
That's my own.
Come and join us next
Yes.
month.
Door's open, it's wide open. Executive session, we close the door.
I will be here at 5:15 moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Mary Ann Honsko, and I just have the same question I had last time. The consulting fee for Mr. Joseph Alvarola, item number 23. I'd just like to know what he's getting consulted on at $75 an hour, 4 hours, at a maximum 4 hours a day, each day. And this is the third time that that's been brought up, and I'd like clarification on it.
All right, Ms. Pottsville. We are intending to replace the directors of facilities and grounds. And when that replacement is determined by this Board of Education, Mr. Alvarola will provide that training for a maximum of 3 hours a day, correct? Or minimum 3 days a week, 4 days a week? It's listed, hold
Three maximum.
Maximum of 3 hours a day.
So the person you are replacing is going to get that?
Would receive that training, and that would,
From the person that you're replacing, or is there a problem with that, or?
well, this is the person that's selected by this board.
That makes sense. All right, so then he will be a consultant for, do you know how long? How long will you allow this to go on?
We're hopeful not more than a month.
I was told it's temporary.
Temporary, gentleman down there said a month?
Possibly.
It's temporary at the pleasure of the superintendent and the board.
You have to
That's my understanding.
Place that position first.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'll take that time. As a member of the public, which the General Assembly allows me to be here, I will not be speaking on any of your voting items because those are for your public. But as my objection, which the public is allowed to do because any person is allowed to, but I'm going to go past that. I'm standing here today on the Declaration of Rights of Pennsylvania. Immediately by saying that, my standing changes. I'm not standing here statutorily with you, arguing with you statutorily. You are breaking the statutory rules and laws that you are talking about. 903 clearly says pertinent information. Amos versus Marshall clearly states in 2022, April 4th, that pertinent information must be made available at that desk. It's not there. You almost got this right. You guys don't run good meetings, you run some of the worst meetings I've ever seen. So right now, I'm redressing my government, because in fact, you are a legislative body that serves at the pleasure of the General Assembly. And right now, my redress is this: you do not have the pertinent information that I need from the public when I walk through that door. It's not there. That's all you had to do is have it printed and put there. Not circle back around by your statutory policies that you're not even following. You are restricting my First Amendment rights. You restricted it last week. You shut my mic off. You used an armed guard. Now you use an armed guard to come search my bag, but fail to search any of the other bags I had in this room. So the only way you can remedy that is go ahead and search everybody's bags that's in this room. Because right now, that's called retaliation. It's on camera, on my video, hopefully on that one. If not, it's on mine. Because guess what? Pittston overreacted just like you guys did. They overreacted just like you did and called in all their armed guards. And if they all make an error tonight, I stand here on the Constitution, not on your statutory policy right now. I stand here as a man, as a legislative that the legislative body put you in charge of this area. I get to stand here and speak on the Constitution. So you come shut my mic off, somebody comes and touches me. You guys are literally in federal grounds. This is ridiculous. You guys run a terrible meeting. Work session, Michael, they didn't tell you. The public can't participate. Read your policy. What does a board member say? Point of order, and read what a work session is. You don't know what the stuff is. You're just willy-nilly going around. Take advice from your advisors, your citizens. They're literally the people that put you in place. That which creates it controls it. They control the governing bodies. The governing bodies control your statutory policies. So the only remedy right now is to go get us our due paperwork, our pertinent information. You can't win this. Marshall versus Amos in any of the school board. Because guess what? When you listen to your attorney, we already barred you with a ton of attorneys. Guess what they say? Just because your attorney gives you bad advice doesn't mean you have to listen to it. You guys can't just come here and lean on your attorney to try to talk his way in circles. You have to know your policy. Your superintendent should not be leading your government meeting. It's a government meeting, Mr. President.
3 minutes.
No, there's no 3 minutes in the Declaration of Independence. I'm sorry.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
But I'm going to give you this.
Your 3 minutes are up, sir.
Yeah, but I just got finished telling you, I'm not playing in the statutory role. I will sit down, but know this. It's a federal offense for the retaliation. It's a First Amendment violation. I'm sitting down. I'm going to yield my time right now.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else like to address the board? Okay. Approval and acceptance of minutes and reports. Regular meeting minutes of September 12th, 2022. Luzerne Intermediate Unit Board of Directors, regular meeting minutes of August 10th, 2022. Can I have a motion? Second. Motion by Mr. Orvik, second by Mrs. Blight. All in favor? Aye. Superintendent report.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This month I want to recognize our two students. We have a new feature. Ms. Mantione is here today. She has created a new feature at our junior, senior high school, and this is our Career Technology Student of the Month. So for the first time in the history of the school district, we're both going to have a Student of the Month here at the high school and one at the Career and Technology Center. So our Hanover area junior, senior high school Student of the Month is Ethan Chafin. Congratulations to him and his family. And then our Wilkes-Barre area CTC September Student of the Month is Aiden Shemansky, and I want to congratulate him and his family. Congratulations. And a project that I want to highlight, and I want to congratulate Mrs. Bennett, who's here in the audience this evening, is the trailer out in the rear of the high school. It was energized today. The power was turned on, and this was the trailer. It was an ancillary building at Memorial Elementary School for the overflow of students that we transferred down here to the high school to create a makeshift home for our life skills students. Our students with multiple disabilities can now go out and learn the basic skills of life, how to cook, how to set a table, how to clean, do laundry. So we're very excited to be able to teach our students and have such an opportunity for our kids to go out in a makeshift home in the back, and that is going to begin in the month of November. So congratulations, Mrs. Bennett, to you and your department for the hard work and the grant money. I just want to let members of the public know that every single aspect of that trailer out back, from the utilities, you name it, so on and so forth, was all utilized through grant funding. So that was the hard work of that special ed department. And I'm so proud that our students are going to have that opportunity. So thank you for your hard work and dedication to those students. And that is my report for this month, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, motion to accept the superintendent report.
Motion.
Motion by Paul Holmgren.
Second.
Before
Second.
that's voted on, just the record should reflect that Mr. Reddick had to leave, and so although a quorum still exists, his vote from here on out will not be recorded. But I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's all right. That was a motion by Paul Holmgren, second by
Second.
Rick Stevens. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, general recommendations to approve items 1 through 4. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mrs. Blight, second by Rick Stevens. Roll call?
Ms. Bleach?
Yes.
Mr. Holmgren?
Yes.
Dr. Kopko?
Yes.
Mr. Maley?
Yes.
Mr. Warvick? Yes. Ms. Potsko?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens? Yes.
Okay. Finance recommendations to approve items 1 through 4.
Motion.
Motion by Rick Stevens,
Second.
second by Joyce Potsko. Roll call?
Ms. Bleach?
Yes on 3 and 4, and I abstain on 1 and 2.
Mr. Holmgren? Yes. Dr. Kopko?
Yes on 1, 3, 4, no on number 2.
Mr. Maley?
Yes.
Mr. Warvick?
Yes.
Ms. Potsko?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens? Yes.
Okay. Personnel, items 1 through 29. I know. We're gonna table number 21. Mr. Barrett will read number 29. Number 20 will read Jason Hallman as a long-term substitute math teacher at a salary of B, step 1 at $51,078 prorated, effective immediately. 22, Lynn Vitale as administrative assistant to the superintendent at a salary of $40,000 prorated, effective immediately. Number 23, appoint Brandon Chafin to custodian position 1 at Hanover Green Elementary at a rate of $15 an hour per HAESPA contract effective immediately. 24, to approve the agreement between Terry Elias and the Hanover School District for as-needed speech and language services at a rate of $65 an hour for 2022-2023 school year. Mr. Barrett, 29?
Yes, approve the consulting service contract in the amount of $75 an hour, not to exceed 4 hours per day, 3 days per week, between Joseph Abarola and the Hanover Area School District, pending approval from the district solicitor and acceptance by Mr. Joseph Abarola.
Do I have a motion to?
Motion.
Motion by, Rick Orvick,
Second.
second by Mrs. Blige. Roll call?
Ms. Blige?
Yes.
Mr. Holmgren? Yes. Dr. Kopko?
I'm voting yes on everything with the notation that number 29 is a temporary position.
Mr. Maley?
Yes.
Mr. Warvick?
Yes.
Ms. Potsko?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens? Yes.
New business? Old business? Anyone from the public?
Mike Potsko, Henry Township. So, a few months ago, we had gotten to the point where we were providing the draft minutes from the previous month, and for some reason that's changed. So in August, I provided an opt-out form that I requested to be entered in the public record. It was not attached to the meeting minutes. And if I had those draft minutes, I could have addressed this at the September meeting, but it was not made available to me. So I would like to request that the opt-out form that I detailed in that meeting be entered in the public record on the meeting minutes tonight and posted prior to the next meeting as a draft, so that I can make sure that everything that's been said tonight is accurate and everything like that.
Michael, can I just ask you for clarification? It was the September meeting that the opt-out forms were provided.
Yes.
And that you wanted that reflected in the minutes, right? Clarification.
Yes.
Okay, got it. So
Yeah, Mike, I gave that to Attorney Buffalino here, and then.
I gave it to you.
Okay, well, it can be put into public. Oh,
Sure.
okay, I got you.
Yeah, I just have to check with her and see what happened.
And just to bring up again, the working session, I guess the reason I always thought that this was the working session, or the session that deliberation was to be made, is that there are no, I haven't seen meeting minutes from 5:15 to 6 o'clock yet. So if you guys are having a working session without minutes provided to the public, I think that's where I got confused, that's not being done. So I would like to understand how you're having that working session that the public is invited to without providing minutes to those sessions.
We're just going over the agenda. We haven't gone over what's on the agenda.
Right, the deliberation needs to be, just like my comments tonight are being put into the minutes. Your deliberation or your input on those agenda items should be recorded in the public minutes, correct?
Yes.
So any deliberations should have minutes attached to them. Does that make sense to everybody? So I would suggest either, so are there minutes that I could obtain?
There are not.
There are not, so that's a pretty big deal.
Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, future meetings, November work session, Tuesday, November 1st, 2022. And the regular meeting, Tuesday, November 1st, 2022. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Rick Stevens. Have a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Kopko. All in favor? Aye.